Yo, what's up YouTube? Glad to be here, man. I hope everybody's doing fantastic. Hope everybody's doing well. Now, I'm excited because like over the next week or so, we're going to be seeing a ton of really hyped Jordans release. And even though they're, hyped and they have a lot of attention and we all want them, it's going to be tough to cop some of these sneakers, guys. Now listen, the first one that's going to be dropping is the Nigel Sylvester Air Jordan 4, and for months we all been looking at this sneaker, waiting for it to come out, and there's been a lot of news happening around this shoe. A couple weeks ago there was like a train hijacking and they stole whatever 2,000 pairs or something like that of that shoe, and it was supposed to be a limited release to begin with. As you guys know, the Nigel Sylvester releases never have this really big stock or anything like that, and it's so sought after. Now there's 20 or some raffles that were open for this sneaker, and I'm not really seeing a whole bunch of people actually have it early or able to get certain sizes. I feel like a lot of the bigger sizes, no one's even able to touch them right now, and they're going to be dropping on the Nike Sneakers app, and obviously that's probably going to give us the best chance to cop, no matter how limited the stock may be on release day on the Nike Sneakers app. That's going to give us the best chance to cop. I feel like, some of these boutiques, some of these stores that are getting them in or doing the raffles and things like that, there's only limited numbers of pairs, and they're doing in-store raffles, and obviously the EQL raffles are out there. I got into some of them myself, but when it comes to this, right, we're gonna have to get lucky here. I'm not necessarily holding my breath on a W on some of these raffles, especially the EQL raffles. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Whenever the EQL raffle came out, and whenever you take an L on a Travis Scott or something at some of these stores, does it not tell you that the next time that you enter, you have a better chance to cop the sneaker? Or is it just me? Am I sort of imagining that? Because honestly, no matter how many times I get into an EQL raffle, the only ones I ever get are for Ma Maniere releases that, let's just face it, are way more easier to get than a Nigel Sylvester, a Travis Scott, any of those ones. EQL has not came through for me on any more hype type releases. Let me know if it's working out for you. I know some of you guys are even paying the monthly membership for it and stuff like that, but if it's working out for you, let me know down below. Now, when it comes to these Nigel Sylvesters, obviously resale for it is high, right? If you look at the MO from Jordan Brand, they're limiting pretty much everything, and especially a collaboration. So right now, the prices are a little bit high. I would not go ahead and spend that resale money on this shoe right now. I know some people online that I follow already went and did it just because they don't have any faith of actually hitting a raffle or hitting on the Nike Sneakers app or anything like that. But just hold off a little bit. I feel like the sneaker's still gonna have resale value, but I feel like the prices will definitely come down to a more affordable place after the sneaker releases and people get pairs in hand. And once they reach people's doorsteps, we're gonna see at least dip down a little bit to a more affordable price in the very near future. Now listen, the cool gray Air Jordan 9 is gonna be dropping this Saturday, March 15th. And whenever we first saw this was coming out, I think a lot of us sort of had the same kind of thought, which was, there's a lot of heat dropping in March. I'm going to pass on that. Maybe I'll be able to pick them up at the Nike outlet or another retailer or on GOAT or something under retail, because it's going to be a major GR, right? It's an Air Jordan 9. No one really likes Air Jordan 9s all that much. But from all the information that's coming out, all the rumors and speculation that's hitting these YouTube streets, is that this is going to be a limited release as well. Think the Jordan 5 Reimagined or the Flu Games, but maybe even less pairs. A lot of rumors are going around that there's less pairs of the Air Jordan 9 Cool Gray than there is the Nigel Sylvester Air Jordan 4. Now, I don't know if that's true. That seems a little far-fetched because, that's a collaboration and that's obviously going to be limited. But from what I'm hearing, the Air Jordan 9 Cool Gray is not going to be a sneaker that has a hefty stock. You should probably expect the sneaker to sell out, and even though Air Jordan 9s hardly ever sell out, this one is probably maybe the most sought after, right? Because even though it's not technically an OG colorway, this is one that Michael Jordan actually wore on the basketball court. Maybe the only Air Jordan 9 that he wore on a basketball court, because if you remember, when the Air Jordan 9 originally came out, he was retired from basketball. He was actually playing baseball. And the Air Jordan 9 never really got worn on the court during those times. But whenever he was with the Washington Wizards, he did wear the cool gray Air Jordan 9. So this sneaker releasing is one that he wore on court. The man himself did wear this sneaker. So technically it's not an OG colorway, but the man did wear the sneaker. So whenever these drop on Saturday, man, like, I'm going to be really interested to see what happens with this release and how fast it could sell out, because, you know, anytime we hear limited stock, you know, people obviously come around and they have more interest in something, especially if we all take L's on the Nigel Sylvester 4s. The cool gray 9 might be that consolation prize for you. Now, a couple of weeks ago when the Air Jordan 1 Union dropped, man, that was reselling for the super high, right? I was seeing people pay $600, $700 for them, and my jaw was just like, bruh, why are you spending that much money? Now, whenever they dropped, right, like on the Union website, they did like this raffle thing, you know, I got into it, I checked all day, I didn't hit, you know, I really didn't even see too many people that I know actually hit on the sneaker. You know, salute to you if you did, but, you know, I didn't really see too many people that I know hit on the sneaker. But obviously, you know, pairs went out, you know, and we started seeing like the prices come down, right? The prices have come down dramatically on that shoe, and we're supposed to be seeing, according to reports, a release on the Nike Sneakers app on March 18th. Now, at this current time, all the places that I get information from, I haven't seen them yet actually upload or load on the Nike Sneakers app. Now, that's kind of not like necessarily a bad thing or, you know, bad news per se, because there is a couple of major releases ahead of it. You know, we're getting the Nigel Air Jordan 4s, you know, and we're getting the cool gray 9s and things like that. So, you know, them not actually being loaded up on the Nike Sneakers app right now, it's not really necessarily all that crazy. But, you know, that's also a Tuesday, and they don't normally drop heat like that at the beginning of the week. They normally wait till Thursday, Friday, Saturday to kind of hit us with those releases. So I'm not entirely sold that they're dropping on March 18th on there. I don't know if they're planning to do a shock drop, a scratch and sniff, a sneakers pass, you know what I mean? Like, or just a regular draw at 10 a.m. like they normally do. But definitely stay tuned for that, man, because even though that sneaker for me isn't necessarily a must cop, it is, you know, a pretty dope Air Jordan 1 in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I just don't necessarily think it's worth paying resale for, especially if you want the sneaker and you're thinking about paying resale. I wouldn't do that right now, especially because if we are going to get a Nike Sneakers app release, the prices are going to come down even further. I mean, they went from like $600-700 to like the $400-ish, kind of $450 range. And I feel like, you know, even if there's limited stock on the Nike Sneakers app, people are getting them for the flip. You're seeing a little bit of undercutting right now, and I feel like at the end of the day, this is probably going to be like a $350 shoe when it's all said and done and the dust clears. So don't pay the super high right now. Take your chances with the Nike Sneakers app, and, you know, you might get a W. Now, another release that I heard got pushed back into April, but it's actually dropping at the pretty much the very end of March, is the Ma Maniere Air Jordan 3. That's going to be dropping on March 29th. And I'll be honest with you, man, like, you know, if we don't get the SB4s, if we don't get the Nigel 4s, if we don't get, you know, cool gray 9s even, right? Like, the Jordan 3 Ma Maniere in any other month would be talked about as, you know, maybe like the most hype release, but, you know, people are kind of overlooking that one, I feel like, a little bit, probably for a couple of reasons. Ma Manieres, you know, they're not that high reselling type shoe. They always make a ton of pairs. They're easy to get, right? So I think people are overlooking that for the more, you know, hyped kind of releases, right? And, you know, for me, it's a cop. Like, I love that sneaker. However, I don't know if I'm going to be picking it up on the 29th on the Ma Maniere website, right? I think, like, I'm just going to hold off on that one so that I can just get it on the Nike Sneakers app. I'll probably get it before, you know, I would get the Ma Maniere website pairs anyways, and it'll be cheaper. I won't have to pay shipping, you know what I'm saying? And that's sort of like the move for Ma Maniere. I'm not saying, you know, don't cop on there, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I don't know. The past couple of times, like, I copped the sneaker on Ma Maniere's website, like, and then they dropped on the Nike Sneakers app. Like, the people that got a W on the Nike Sneakers app got their pairs ahead of time, and they didn't have to pay that $25, $30 fee, plus the EQL fee or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. It's a cop for me, but I'm going to be more strategic whenever it comes to Ma Maniere releases, unless, you know, we hear that they're stupid limited, and, you know, then you just got to do what you got to do, but, you know, that's a dope shoe, man. I really like that Air Jordan 3 Ma Maniere, man. And I feel like We might not touch Nigel's. We might not touch the SB4s. I'm in some raffles for those too. Make sure you guys put this footwork in. Put the footwork in, man. Jordan Brand is coming for our pockets all year, but they're not dropping a ton of pairs. Like, you're going to have to go back and do this work. Do this footwork. Put in for those raffles. Get people to help you. Make connections. Because, like, none of these releases that are coming up this year, I think are going to be easy, man. Like, it just feels like everything's going to be limited. Resales back, right? Like, things are worth money again, so people are getting it to flip and things like that. So I mean, it's not necessarily like a buyer's market anymore like it was when everything was, you know, going for under retail. Even like things that were going for under retail are creeping back up in price. Like, we're definitely seeing things change and pick back up, right? A lot of people are saying Jordans are back. Man, Jordan's never really left, man. Like, you know, the economy was, you know, flawed and still is, and there's a lot of reasons why sneakers were tanking. But, you know, right now, you know, they got their, man, they're doing that work, man. They're putting in that crazy work on these releases, limited releases, supply and demand, building up hype. So make sure, you know, when you want a sneaker, man, put that work in. Put that work in. Don't just think you could wake up at 10 a.m. and cop on the Nike sneakers app every time, because even some of these releases aren't even dropping on the Nike sneakers app. Like, look at the Bread Air Jordan 1s. The band, they ain't even drop on there. You know what I'm saying? So you got to put that work in, man. I just want to wish you all the best of luck on these upcoming releases. I'll see you guys soon, man. I'll see you guys really, really soon. Stay safe out there. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Road to 20,000 subscribers. I'm going to be doing some giveaways at 20K because that's a super major milestone. So if you're brand new, haven't yet already, you know, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And I'll see you all in the next video real soon. I'm out. Peace. For more sneaker content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you hit that notification bell so you never miss a video.